Hello, hello. Welcome to Women Let's Talk About It Corner. Usually there's four of us, but today you've got two of us showing up here every Thursday, bringing you real, raw, candid conversations about everything female entrepreneurship, women in business. And today, Janae and I were kind of having a spicy conversation this morning, talking about the future of business management. You know, all these new AI tools, new social audio apps popping up all over the place, just really changing the map, changing the direction of how we manage our businesses, and no longer in the traditional sense. So we're interested in knowing kind of your thoughts on where you think the future of business management is headed, how you are navigating all of these changes. I mean, Janae, we just dropped a new social media platform, Threads. Who's on Threads? Drop some comments in the chat. Let us know. Drop your social media channel. Oh, I think Janae is frozen here. Let me bring her back up. All right, let's keep going. So who is on Threads? I just jumped on Threads last night, and let me tell you something. Well, Janae, while we wait for Janae to jump back on, I jumped on Threads last night. I really didn't want to, but our social media director, she messaged us in a group chat. She's like, ladies, we got a new social media app called Threads put out by Instagram. We need to jump on there. We need to get started. Don't miss the boat. And I will say something. I was not excited about getting on another social media platform because we got too many already trying to manage and handle. But this is the future of business. And at first I was like, no, Miss Mary Massey, I am not getting on another social media platform. We've already got 7 we're trying to manage for the Mom Link. And then Mary Massey reposted on Threads a tweet or a video from Gary Vaynerchuk. And I watched it, and you know what he said? Don't be that person who's like, nah, it's just like Twitter. Don't be that person like, nah, I'm not learning another social media app. He's like, if you're in business, stay up with times. Give it a try. At least just give it a try before you hate on it and see where it can do or what it can do for your business. So for me, to start off this conversation on the future of business management, I do agree with Gary. I think you need to test every new upcoming tool or platform, at least give it a shot and test it out to see if it resonates with your community, if you're actually tapping into a whole nother group of people of the niche that you are currently targeting, but now on a new social media platform. And we all know, because this is what happened to MomLink, you get on a new social media platform quickly and you're one of the first ones there. Now, Threads only been released less than 24 hours. You are getting on it early, and there's always more success for those who get on these platforms early if these platforms turn out, in fact, to do really well. So, Janae, what do you think? Let's start tackling future business management in regards to social media platforms.
See, you know, it's good to agree to disagree on that one right there. I'm just saying, I 100% agree with my girl that as an entrepreneur, you need to stay up with the times. But I'd rather for you to stay up with the economic times than the social media times. And the only reason why I say that is because if you don't know what's going on in economics and what's going on with the money and how the money is being spent, but we spend so much time on all these social media platforms, this come out. I said, man, Crystal, if they just put their mind to doing all this as they get into all these social media apps, I know I don't understand econ either, but that still don't break it down for me to not just try to get an understanding of what is being spent and how the money is being spent and where the money is going. I need to know that as an entrepreneur. So I'm all about, getting on with the new times, but can we be more specific and can we be more strategic about it? Because just like an iPhone comes out every year, right? Upgrade to, I think we're at 14 now. 15, I think, is coming out. Just like computers come out every 2 years, this technology is going to be so much more advanced. But the fact of the matter is, economics, the basic foundation of business and understanding the principles of business is more important to me for people to jump on and get a knowledge of than these social. Man, yesterday was Clapper, today is Thread, and I'm not hating on them. Nope. I believe you should try it, but have you even tried to get your budget together first? Have you even tried to put the stuff on paper as far as your numbers go? Do you even know where your money is coming in and how it's going? I'm just saying, let me get off my preach. Okay, go back to you, Crystal.
No, that's so true. And you know, the other thing I thought about last night, and anybody watching in or watching the replay, let us know your thoughts. Are you on Threads? If you're on Threads, drop that handle on the comments there. Let us follow you. Mom Links on Threads. Find us over on Threads. But one of the things I thought about last night, we're all using AI in our social media content production. We are all using these new AI tools, whether it's to create an AI graphic, an AI content piece, whatever it is, we're all using AI in our business right now. And last night I'm posting and tweeting, I'm going to call it tweeting, I'm threading on Threads. And I'm like, can you imagine people are threading just using ChatGTP? And then I'm threading back to them using ChatGTP. And we are no longer actually having a real conversation. And now every social media platform is all about just repurposing your content. Because last night, that's all I saw is every single person who is like got on Threads quickly. It's not original content. In fact, I saw some new users on Threads say, if you're on here posting the same business tips as you're posting on Instagram, you got off onto the wrong start. So it's interesting because I think the future of business management in regards to social media platforms is two. You're chasing shiny objects when you should be figuring out your finances instead of figuring out the new app.
Good.
And number two, if we're just repurposing content on every single platform, are we completely losing the whole point and strategy behind it? And are you going to be discovered? I think the future of social media platforms, because of AI, you will be quickly discovered and almost be like a notch against your belt if people figure out that all you do is repurpose and use AI technology in content creation.
Girl, you better drop that mic. Boom, boom. Right? I mean, honestly, when we were on Breakfast of Champions this morning in Clubhouse, one of the young ladies put in the chat, hey, it's one, she said, be careful. This was a warning. And I think everybody should to pay heed to this. Be careful of all this, you now have to check. We always said you have to do your own due diligence when it comes to anything. You have to do your own research. That means even people. So coaches, fitness instructors, you name it. Are you credentialed? Are you certified? I mean, just in case anything happens to you, you want to make sure, right? But people so quick to sue them, but they didn't do their due diligence, Crystal, because they didn't even check to see if the person was certified. They just went on and jumped in the boat, right? But with AI, it's even worse. Because the young lady was saying, you can go on AI, you can make your business plan, you can make all of these different things for your business and your industry, and it makes you seem like you're the subject matter expert. But won't anyone know for sure in the beginning until they've already got into it, paid some money into it, and then the execution factor just ain't up to what the words on the paper said. They said it was going to be X, Y, Z. These are your deliverables. This is what you're going to get out of it. And then all of a sudden you're like, I didn't get that. That sounded good. That looked good, but I didn't get that. That's the execution of it. So warning to consumers, always do your due diligence. Warning to entrepreneurs, business owners, small, big, medium, large, whatever. Be careful. Put your money where your mouth is. If you're going to put it in chat, make sure you can do exactly what my cousin Chat said to do. Don't fake the funk. And this ain't no fake it till you make it. Credibility is everything. If you lose your credibility, you lose that trust factor. You lose that trust factor. OMG. You think social media, you're going to be all over threads. Don't trust this person. You're going to be all over all the newest things. Don't trust this person. And you don't want to lose your trust factor and your credibility. So be very careful with these AIs. They're great, but if you can't deliver, don't put it on paper. Right, Crystal?
I 100% agree. I think, it was so cool. Everybody got excited. Like I can launch my podcast I've been waiting to do for years because I don't have time because I'm focused on building my business, and podcast was something down the road. Now people are like, now I have time because ChatGPT is going to write that podcast for me. But then you get on your podcast and you are basically reading verbatim a script that AI spit out for you. It's not authentic. It's not landing with your viewers. You're actually kind of destroying the art behind podcasting. And there's actually, I hate to take this in this direction, but Janae, listen to this. So imagine AI. I'm like, great, this is awesome. I thought about it that way. Like it can write a whole podcast. It can write a book. Like that's kind of cool. But put yourselves in the shoes of the artists and the creators out there who have actually put their heart and soul into producing a podcast that gained some great listeners. Same thing with books, right? The other thing is AI and the future of business management is going to actually take away a lot of jobs.
Oh,
is that okay? So Janae, what do you think? Is it going to create more, take away more jobs?
So it's already started mostly. If you haven't been tracking what happened in the tech companies like Amazon, Google, they had a big layoff, I think, earlier this year for Amazon, last year in the fourth quarter. But a lot of people knew it was coming because these are tech companies who went to bots, where you had human beings taking out the boxes to put in. Now they got these little robotic arms and all this other stuff that took the place of the humans, right? Now, they said, hey, now we got this new AI that's coming out. Have y'all been to the restaurant where the robot is serving you and not a human?
I haven't, but I've heard of it and I'm dying to go to check it out.
In Vegas, even in the Renaissance, which off the strip, they have a little bot coming to your room to deliver your basics. I mean, I've seen it for myself. If I had not seen it, I'd be like, "You're kidding me? You're lying? No way!" Yes, the little robot looks like the robot from Star Wars. R2D2? Yeah, it looks like R2D2. But the fact of the matter is, if these robots are already taking the humans, where somebody would come deliver it to you, that means what? With an AI that's creating different things like writers, for example, and it's been a push come shove because people are writing blogs out this world using ChatGPT, right? And so I kind of thought, what about the writers? What about those authors, those true authors who have been writing books all this time? Now you have a person who, like me, who can't stand writing, don't like grammar whatsoever.
That you get to write.
Yes. What was the prompts that we used this morning? Write as if I am. I tell my cousin chat, I said, write as if I am a travel blogger. Don't get it twisted. I've been to these places and I'm there, but I just don't know how to put it to paper. And my cousin chat, he writes it like I'm a travel blogger. And I'm like, oh.
It's incredible. It's incredible. But you know what, though, Janae, what it's removing, I think the future of AI business management in regards to managing a business, what's one of the key components to having a successful business is experience.
Mm-hmm. Suhaila said it right here.
Client and membership experience. When you travel somewhere or when you go to somebody's travel blog, and you hear it from Janae or you watch it on Janae's video vlogs, you get the experience, you get Janae's personality, you already know Janae, it comes with an experience. And I think AI is not just taking jobs, but it's changing the experience. And last night, so my aunt is visiting from out of town. She's been an interpreter for the deaf community for many years. And she's like, AI's never taking my job. She's like, no, but AI can't do what I do, interpret, doing sign language. And I said, well, they're eventually going to come up with a computer that's listening and interpreting for the person who is deaf. And she's like, they've tried, they haven't succeeded just yet. I'm like, but they've tried. You know what's sad about that? Not just that it's going to take away a job from somebody who did years and years of school on how to interpret or do sign language, but the other failure of it is the person who is receiving the service now is getting the experience through a computer. And part of sign language and part of this service being provided to the deaf community, don't quote me on this, but it's not face to face on a computer. It's face to face having a conversation with somebody else. Right. And so I think we're taking away the user experience. We're taking away from our business and the experience we provide out to our clients, and we're taking away jobs. And at the end of the day, I think, Janae popped off. Oh, let me pull Camille up here. Camille is here joining us. Here, hold on, unmute Camille. Yes. Anyways, I'm just going on this tangent because I'm thinking like AI is great, but I think in regards to also business management, I'm afraid of the quality. You know, when we talk about quality assurance in our business and, you know, quality and customer service, who hates speaking to a chat box on a website that you're trying to get in, right? Like, who hates that? Everybody drop in the comments if you're watching, who hates talking to the chat box? I think when I talk to the chat box on a website, I press 0. I'm on the phone. You know, when you call the op, you call and you're on the, I'm like 0. They're like, ma'am, there's no 0 here. Press 1 if you want this. Same thing with the chat box. I'm like, what's the phone number I can call? What's the phone number? I need to speak to somebody. So it shall be interesting with the future of business management if we just rely on AI in regards to experience and customer service.
Crystal, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
I had to jump on here. Hi, everyone. Yes, I'm a true mompreneur in motion. But, you know, this conversation, I was like, girl, ladies, you got to get me in on this because what a great topic to have, especially with the introduction of the new threads. Now, even when you're talking about the authenticity of ChatGPT, the other day I was speaking with my son about schooling options, university and college and what have you. And he likes school and there's no problem with that. But you know what he said to me? He's like, Mom, why do I even need school anymore or learn how to write paragraphs or anything? I could just chat GPT it. You know, I chat GPT all of Shakespeare's plays to get myself ready for grade 11. And I did it all. And I was like, oh my goodness. So for me, ChatGPT, especially depending on whose hands it's being placed in, it's really taking away even our younger generations of like desire to use their own thinking. It's just easier, it's faster. It's that whole what I call Netflix era. So what do you say about that one? Because I had to come up on stage when you all were talking about that because it's so true. And also I wanted to say last week I went to a buffet and the chef was a bot. I should have taken a video of it. It was the most interesting thing. It was doing like on a walk and it was cooking. Mm-hmm. And it was a bot.
Yeah, that's real talk. Crystal, you mentioned talking to a chat bot, right? Do you guys know if you are a Frontier client? Frontier and Spirit are like the economic, feasibly friendly type of disguise, really low budget tickets, but they charge you an arm and a leg for the luggage. Mm-hmm. I'm just saying. But Frontier has gotten rid of their customer service. So that personal experience Suhaila was talking about and what you was talking about, Crystal, being able, and I'm sorry, I don't know, all of a sudden they like doing something. I don't know where they at. Sorry, y'all. But anyway, that experience, that personal experience, you won't get with Frontier. So I have booked a ticket to come here to Mexico. Sorry, my Mexico internet won't let me be great.
No, you're good. I can hear you. You're perfect.
Okay, perfect. Just let me know if I go out. But anyway, I booked the flight was $300 last minute round trip to come here to Mexico. I was like, oh yeah, I got this. Boop. My luggage, if you're military, is free, but if you're not, it'd be like $60. I'm only a carry-on person. So I said, oh, that's still cheaper than Delta, American, and everything. So then I went to go change my name because I noticed it was incorrect. So I went through the chat and then I was like, well, where's the customer service number? Because the chat was still not helping me out.
Oh no, we lost her.
Oh, that was so good. That was such a good one. I know where she's coming from because I'm having that issue right now. Remember with my SSL, and this is why I'm so excited about our her toolbox that we're bringing up with the mom link, because that's what I'm having an issue with right now. I can't get a hold of anybody except the chat box with my other server. So I kind of see where she's coming from, where she's just about to go with trying to make that change. What to say to you about, like, so I see the pros and the cons of it all. To be honest with you, it's great for starting points to get it, the juices flowing, as I should say, rather. But I totally agree that we have to really bring it back to that human space and really get to being able to understand how to use both, align the two together, having that personal, authentic touch with the customer service, so you can really be empathetic. Like right now, ChatGPT has no emotion, and that's what's missing. And I hope that people understand and see that we need to still have that emotional connection.
Absolutely. So I think the future of business management, we talked about a couple of things. So future of business management, when we look at social media platforms and how we're using AI technology. And I think we're honestly going to get to a point where people are going to be called out and almost like blacklisted or cancel cultured because they're using AI technology and they're not showing up authentically, right? We're already seeing that happen on Threads. This morning, I woke up to some threads of some influencers saying, if you're on here giving business tips like you're doing on all other platforms, you're going to fail miserably. We want to know about how your day's going. Hey, Selena. And so, like, I already saw that already on
Well, why can't ChatGPT help us with 11-year-old's birthday party? Then I'll say yes.
Seriously, right? So, okay, so we talked about that. We talked about the customer service piece. And I think the third layer that we talked about this morning on Clubhouse and that Janae and I were kind of jumping into this morning was we have people who are putting out content or producing or building businesses based on AI technology, but they actually don't have the knowledge, the business 101. They don't have what it takes. They don't have the dedication to actually execute what ChatGTP just designed for them. And so now here's the problem. ChatGTP is so efficient and effective that they're going to probably help that person sell that course. But because that person didn't have that business 101, they didn't understand customer service, they didn't understand execution, what needs to happen pre, during, and post, they're now screwing over the people purchasing because ChatGTP sold it to them, right? And so now we've got a serious customer service issue.
Yeah.
And so I know that we went through a phase the last probably 10 years, and maybe correct me if I'm wrong, but we went through this phase of everybody's like, oh, everybody's a life coach. Everybody's a life coach. And people, when they heard the word life coach, they were like, oh, another life. I don't need it. And it kind of got a bad rap. And I feel really bad because life coaches are great. Like lifestyle coaches, life coaches, motivational coaches, confidence, they're all great. And it's a needed service in our world, especially in entrepreneurship and in the business world. But it was diluting it. And I think the same thing is about to happen because of AI. It's really going to make people question a lot. Well, first, I think we're going to go through the before, which is people are going to purchase and then have bad experiences because people don't know how to run the business. They're just they don't know how to execute it or sustain it. And then I think number two is people are going to lose faith. You know, entrepreneurship is a really incredible opportunity that has come into our world today. And as a mom, as a woman, the fact that I get to leave my 9 to 5, create my own business, do it from home with my kids. Don't get me wrong. It's not an easy job, but we actually get to live out our dreams today. We're pretty fortunate. I mean, my parents came here as immigrants to Canada and picked worms at night with a flashlight and saved every dollar for 15 years so they could be where they're at today. And we have a whole different type of opportunity on our plate, right? However, I think we have such a big door of opportunity, but if you're following what I'm saying right now, what I'm worried about is that entrepreneurship is going to start to get a bad rap, kind of like life coaches did. And I'm sorry if you're a life coach and you're listening to this, but it's the honest truth, right? Life coaches did get a little bit of a bad rap because there were so many of them and certification was so easy and quick to get. I'm going to pause there because I know what I'm saying is a little bit like, sensitive to those who may be in the life coaching thing, but it's true. I saw that happen, and I'm afraid that's going to happen with entrepreneurship as well. I don't know.
It's no more sensitive to multi-level marketing. Did you just say that today? Absolutely. Shoot, everybody know. Come on now, you just keeping it real, Crystal. And Women's Corner is about talking about those things that most people want to like tiptoe around, like crab shells, and not want to speak on. But when it comes to business, you said it right then. We're at home. Well, I'm in Mexico right now. She's at home. She's in the car. But we're able to do some things still with our children this summertime and not be at work.
Except technology is holding us back from continuing this conversation.
Yeah.
You're back.
You're back. Look, I'm over it. You know what? The devil is a liar. But it's not easy. Everything is not easy. We're just saying, hey, the future of business management with all these squirrel effects, these shiny objects that are out here, you need to stay true to whatever business plan you had out there. If your business plan can mitigate and is advantageous to you to be able to promote Threads, to be able to promote Clapper, to be able to incorporate different AI projects within your own business plan, then that's great. But if you don't sit down at the table and think it out and write it out, what are you doing but flying by the seat of your pants?
You know what they're doing, Janae? It's just like back in university, and it's still in academia, right? We hear all the time people plagiarize and they get great straight A's and they pass, or they pay the TA, or I've seen it all, right? I was a professional university student myself. And so these things happen. But when the people get to the profession and they didn't do the work for the 4 years and they paid for it, they cheated, they're not going to survive. They're not going to be successful. They're going to have to eventually go through the ropes and the learning curve and do the learning. So you can skip learning how to build a business and ask AI to do it for you. Go and try and execute that and sustain that. It's not going to happen.
Absolutely. I read somewhere that 70% of the lottery members lose their riches within 70 years. They're broke because they didn't have the sustainment of understanding basic money principles of having that money make money off of itself. How many of you guys know that to be a 6 and 7 figure income earner, we talk about millionaire, billionaire status? No, 7 figure, 8 figure income earners, millionaire, billionaire status, that they use their money to make more money. They just don't sit on their money and let it, still spend it. No, their money is continuously making them more money. Oprah, prime example. Tyler Perry, prime example. They may be actors, actresses, but they're producers. She's Weight Watchers, Oprah. She has her own magazine, has her own TV channel. I mean, you name it. When you go look after your favorite basketball star, most basketball players and football players and athletes are gotten hip and gotten smarter. They now have their own clothing line outside of a shoe line. They actually have organizations of nonprofit, because you have a nonprofit. Oprah didn't give them cars away she probably did out of the goodness of her heart. Ellen DeGeneres did too, out of the goodness of her heart. But do y'all know that's a tax write-off? Hello, somebody. Y'all don't understand how the wealthy stay wealthy. Understand the tax principles. When we started out, I kicked out. You can go learn about the shiny object of the social media. But if you don't understand the basic principles of economics and finances, what are you doing in business? Come on, somebody. Can I get an amen? Amen.
Janae, amen. Okay, Camille, I know you want to jump in on this. Let me share one last thing. I was listening to Gary Vee again this morning. I have to quote him on this because he was talking about this. And you know what he said is this generation of entrepreneurs problem. Everybody wants to be an entrepreneur. Everybody wants to be a successful business owner. But instead of learning the foundations, instead of learning how to actually sustain the residual or the income, the revenue coming into their business and getting creative that way, they're focusing on purchasing the things that make them look like the successful entrepreneurs. Gary Vee's like, you're spending money on stupid shit. Stop spending money on stupid things. Like, why do you need that car that makes you look like the successful business owner? Focus on actually becoming the successful business owner. And just like you said, before you can go and give away a car, right? Or, instead of pretending to be at that level. And I think because of the future of business management and AI technology, I think that's also part of what we're going to be seeing, right? And we're already seeing that for a fact.
Oh yeah. You go ahead, Camille.
Oh, I think we lost her.
Oh, because how people have photos is what do they call it? Fish. You got, what is it? Got fish something. Fish tail.
Oh.
Is it me? Am I stuck?
Catfish.
Yeah,
no, fish cat. Fish. No, it's not fish cat.
Catfish. That's what I'm trying to say.
I said fish cat. Fish cat. I don't even think there's such a thing.
Can everybody see me? Can everybody hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. We can hear you. We can hear you.
Yeah, I'm frozen.
Camille, go. What are your thoughts, Camille?
First and foremost, can I just say that when Janae, because I was in the car, as you see, I was mompreneuring. And when she said, all these coaches coming in saying they're coaching pandemic stuff, I was like, oh shoot, I better get all my credentials up. I just up on the wall. I was like, because you know what? She's very correct on that part there. Is, there's so many people faking till you making it. And that even goes to what you're saying, buying the unnecessary things, doing the unnecessary actions that are not generating any sales, any leads or anything. All we're doing is doing it for the gram, doing it for the thread. Right? Yeah. And that's only going to take you so far. That whole trend of trying to get all of these followers and all that kind of great stuff and only focusing on that and not on the actual business. I think a lot of people got lost in that translation. They forgot about the business because they're so focused on the followers. And then when they do gain those followers, oh, shoot, how do I engage with them? How do I give them what I promised them, the lifestyle that I've been showing, when I've never even done it before? Just like you said, with the life coaches and with even personal trainers, I have been trained by so many people that are not certified, then I didn't realize till after the fact. Yeah. And that's why I made it a point that if I wanted to do something like this, I not only need to learn from other people and my experiences, I need to get this organ up here working too. And that's getting that certification and stuff. And I feel like because, we take our business seriously, like we're really going into the foundation of it, the understanding of it, the systems of it, the way how we can hit our viewer, our avatar's pain points, because we're doing that. And I feel like this is very imperative because we're coming into such a technological era. If we get that foundation from ground zero, when everything does start to boom up, like when AI is all over, we can still better navigate ourselves through our own authenticity because we've already built enough confidence and understanding within our own industry. And on top of that, we can sniff out the bullshit. I'm just saying it straight.
You know what? I think the common theme from what we've been talking about with the future of business management is we're all saying the same thing in every aspect of the direction of business management. It can provide us with shortcuts, and it's a great tool. Yeah. And we can have shortcuts to make things not take so long so we can be more efficient and more productive. However, the future of business management and providing these shortcuts is also going to provide somebody pulling back the curtain and exposing you. Exposing you, because listen to this. You know what I called our director of media this morning, and I was like, oh my goodness, I just picked up on something. People on Instagram. So listen to this. Instagram and Threads is connected, right? So when you open up your account on Threads, it's your Instagram followers. So all of a sudden, and it's only been open for 24 hours. I noticed some people have thousands of followers in 24 hours. And then some people have 100 followers, but they have 200,000 followers on Instagram. What does that tell you, ladies?
It's telling you, for me, what
they bought their followers on Instagram. It ain't real followers on Instagram, because the people who have 200,000 followers on Instagram, you should see their following in Threads in less than 24 hours. It's above 1,000, 2,000 followers. So it makes sense. It translates. Those other people who have the same amount of followers on Instagram who came over to Threads have like 50 followers. And I'm like, well, wait a second. That doesn't make sense. Expose. They've been exposed. And I think that's also the thing we need to be careful with.
I love that.
Oh, like, sorry, Janae, can you just scream that? I'm going to scream that. Like what Crystal just said is so powerful. I'm going to say it very quickly in like 3 sentences. More than 3 sentences. The exposure of paid followers on Instagram. Sorry, the paid followers on Instagram that people said they didn't pay for, they're going to be exposed when they transfer over to Threads, because it's not going to be the same transfer. So it's going to make you go, from 20K to only having 50 followers. Things that make you go, I just want to say that was fire, Crystal.
Yeah, it's
I'm
so
gonna
true.
play devil's advocate, as y'all know I love to do.
I love it. Yes, girl.
One, you can always tell the exposure whether or not those are bot followers on any platform based off of their back and forth conversations, engagement. You can see if you have 20,000 followers, but only 100, liked your post or, commented on your post. That's significant. That is a big deal. Also understand when Clubhouse started, y'all understand, we had some big time people on Clubhouse with little bitty followers, and everybody was after those big time people who had large followings, not even understanding that there were some major players on Clubhouse that barely had 50 or 100 followers, and they were sleeping on those people. And understand, so I always tell people, never look at when it comes to social media, never look at a follower account. Look at the person. Do the due diligence. Look at the person. See how that person is. Check all their social media platforms. Check them out. Yes. If you see that they're published in all these different, you can, Google is your best friend. I tell people, Google is your friend. It's still real, y'all. Put that person's name in. All the accolades or any honors or any badness or positive, negative, whatever will come up. And oh, by the way, they got a thing called Spokeo. That is a free, you can put a person's name in and it'll bring up just a basic, even criminal, non-criminal. And it's free because if they put their name in the World Wide Web, Spokeo captures it, period. And people are like, oh my God, what is that? Yeah,
we need to have we need a women's Let's Talk About It corner about this whole conversation, because you know what, Janae, I even have a quicker hack. I used to do this because I'm just somebody who I need to see it with my own eyes to believe it. I need proof to believe it. I don't know. That's just me, right? So when I would get on Instagram and somebody was trying to sell me their course or tell me they make billions of dollars or whatnot, they got the secret to success, I would do some research. I would do exactly what Janae's talking about.
For you all, I have a question. So now,
listen, a really quick hack, and for anybody watching and listening, do a quick search on somebody's followers and just put some numbers in the follower search. If they have followers who populate and they have 0, 1, 3, those are all bot. Did you ladies know that? Or do an underscore and start with a Z or a K, and then you'll see all these random letters. Those are all purchased. It's quick, easy ways. I know, right, Janae? That right away, whether they bought a lot of followers or not, whether they bought some in the past or not, there's so many ways to expose. I swear this needs to be a women's Let's Talk About It.
I want to ask a question though now. I have another double-edged sword on that. What about, because this is great that we want to do the back checks on people and what have you. And you know what, Janae, you weren't on when I was saying this. I was like, girl, I've been forgetting to put up my certifications. Let me go put that up real quick. You made me laugh at that because it brought me back to the fact I haven't done that. But I want to put throw something else into the wheel, another wrench into the wheel. This is great for doing the back checks, but it's also intimidating for people who are just starting out. Right? So if I do a background check for somebody who's just starting out in the business, I may find like they have the certification, but I may not find all the accolades because they haven't gotten them just as yet. And that could be very intimidating for somebody just starting business. If we're continuously telling, do background checks, and you do them, but you're not getting the accolades that, like, for instance, myself, I'm not going to get the same amount as Jillian Michaels versus because of the years. What do you say to that? I'm just curious.
I like to keep it simple, Camille, because that's really good. You guys, what do you do with your money when it comes to banking? Do you just put it in any bank? Or what do you do when it comes to investment? Do you put it in any investment? I don't care if it's Merrill Lynch or the little man on the totem pole. With your money, if Merrill Lynch got a better review you are not going with the little man on the totem pole with your money. You got to make things make sense for
So
for yourself.
yeah, so my question, and that's great, but I'm talking about it for anybody else, any viewers that are just starting out, right? Because that is not as encouraging for somebody who's just starting out. If I'm hearing that I'm always going to be looked over because I don't have the same amount of
No, Camille, I think it's the my double-edged sword for that. My answer to you, I think it's the opposite of what you're fearing. I think what we
Well, I'm not
just
fearing. I just want to know in case
no, not you, when you're speaking on behalf of that new entrepreneur
Mm-hmm.
who's fearing that, right? What I'm saying is, I think what we're going to experience in the future is actually the flip side of that, because what we've been going through is the people with fake followers are getting the business. The people who say they have the credentials are getting the business because people haven't been doing their research. Now, what Janae is saying, people are going to start doing their research. I think AI is going to bring lots of opportunity to make quick money and easy, but it's going to start to expose people. So
Yeah.
people are actually, and we've already seen this huge shift in social media influencers. Before they used to be, before we used to have large influencers. Where do brands and partnerships and affiliate programs want to work with? They don't want to work with billions of followers. They want to work with micro influencers. They want to work with me, the mom who has a community of other moms who actually resonate. It's not because I'm a business owner who's been successful for 17 million years,
You know
right?
what? You
So-
nailed another thing that you just started to say. You got me excited. Gladiators. That was one of the points that they did say. Remember, they said that people would 1st start going for the big, hey, hunter people, but then they realized that people resonated more so with people that look like them. That was just like starting. I love that you said that. That was you guys are just getting me so fired up. What great conversations.
Before we close out, I'll say this. We're
That was
all
good.
small time. We're all small time entrepreneurs. But I'm gonna tell you what's gonna separate yourself from the big boys. You and your visibility, you and your credibility, you and your trust factor. If you
Sure.
are in the corner, I'm 5 years in the travel industry. People know who I am, some people don't. But in order for me to keep being visible against big time players in the game, I have to show up and show out. Yes, I'm a single mom of 4. I travel like a rock star. I love my lifestyle, but I show people how to do it too. Your truth is educating people on what it is that you do. Camille, we got this. Her whole thing, you look at her Instagram, it's lined up of she was teach. I said, Camille, you can teach people from a wheelchair? Yep. How they can work out. Now, most people, I have not seen that before, but she hit that. You got to find things that's going to separate you from the masses. And showing up and being visible is showing up. Going to the Instagram and seeing everything live. I'm sorry, you might not like it. I got it. Video, do that instead. You ain't got to go live. But they need to see who you are. They need to see you every day to see what's not every day, but to see you in your daily life. Crystal, she's posting traveling mama of 2. She don't necessarily have to be traveling, but she posted something. Did you post something about your wipeout on rollerblading? But just
I did. Look at
just real stuff to show that they are a real person. So if you are that small business owner, if that is a concern when people say when they research you, they're not going to get their receipts right away. Your testimonials of the people you have given receipts to will make all the difference too in the world. Video testimonies. People are like, well, you can buy that. Girl, y'all better put, when you doing your workout, Camille does her workout with her people. When you're doing brows, do your brows with your people. Live video. If you doing hair, do the hair on live video. Show people you got that juice. You got the juice. So they'll know, oh man, she ain't about talking that stuff. She about that real, right?
I love that.
You know, the tip I want to leave everybody with in closing off goes right off of what Janae just said. And we've got Suhaila, one of our members. She's tuning in right now. So Suhaila, I'm going to use you as an example. Like, I think we need to leverage as new entrepreneurs, as small business owners, as the non-rich and famous who already have it established, we actually have an advantage for once. I think the advantage is being pulled more onto our side in the sense that you have a bigger demographic that is actually interested in buying what you have to sell. And the reason I say that is because majority of people can't afford the rich influencer who's talking about skincare, but these luxury products, and my private one-on-one service is so unaffordable, only the rich and famous can afford me. Well, me, or Suhaila, when you provide your skincare services, you can speak to a whole community of women, moms, females who resonate with you and are just a regular woman in the world, not the rich and famous who need to pay tens of $1,000s for a service. So I hope I'm communicating that correctly, but I think we also have an advantage now with the future of business management in this piece that we have to show up authentically, like Janae is saying, we have to show up more like ourselves. It's an advantage because people are resonating with you and are more open to purchase from you than the pretend influencer showing up with their Bugatti, Ferrari, and luxury skincare that nobody can afford anyways.
Yeah. And I have 30, I know we have 30 seconds. So I love that. And it leads me into my point of the best thing you could do is surround yourself with like-minded. When I say like-minded people, I mean people that support and see you and understand your vision, and that you're able to also grow and bootleg with them. And when I say bootleg, that's like connecting with each other through collaborations and networking. There's a lot that you can learn from the environment that you're in. And now that we have the blessing and honor of being digital, let's not take that lightly and take it by the hands and build up genuine relationships. When you're in a part of a community and you show up and you're doing the work, I'm going to trust Suhaila 10 times over Revlon, because Revlon now just becomes a name. Suhaila allows me to, I've built up a relationship, a commitment. Remember, for this pandemic, we were just sold all the time. People are tired of that. People buy people. And let's remember that. Let's not allow ChatGPT to take over. We still have the control. Remember that. You have control over you. Exactly what Janae said. You are the secret sauce. Exactly what Crystal said is that you need to bring your unique self and know that every time you show up and you talk more, you're going to build up that relationship. Love this conversation. This is powerful. We got to continue on with this one because it's going to be a hot topic, especially with the new threads and everything else that's coming out. So definitely, last one, get your systems in order.
Yes, get your systems in order. Join us on LinkedIn right now for a Connect and Collab networking room.
Let's do this.
Bye, ladies.
Bye, y'all.